Before we start the show, just a word from our sponsor, Undeniable Press. For all your screen printing needs, located in the Corktown district of Detroit, Michigan. If you ever need any t-shirts or any other little promo accessories, posters, or whatnot printed up for you, go to Undeniable Press. They're located, once again, in the Corktown district of Detroit, Michigan, and you can reach them at facebook.com/undeniablepressdetroit. And those same guys who do Undeniable Press also have a clothing line called 20 by 20 Apparel. It's very much wrestling themed, all sorts of nostalgic themes in regards to the history of wrestling. And you can go check out their clothing line at 20x20apparel.com. That's the number 20x, the number 20apparel.com. Now let's start the show.
Fresh is the word.
I'm Jim Duggan, got long wood for plenty hoes. I keep it fresher than fresh, but you already know. You suckers bummy, I'm money, I got a ton of flows. My weed loud like a motherfucking thunder roll. Your shit quiet like you ballin' on a budget though. We see your kicks and we laugh and yellin' what are those. You see me shining like a suit on puffy. You know my grindin' shit is too strong, buddy. That's why the dude call money. I be stuntin' like it's nothing at all. Cause it's nothing to me, it's probably something to y'all. Trying to smoke like me, then come and fuck with your dog. Got a closet full of kicks, you can't cop it them all. And I'm fresher than the freshest, you can tell it's in my essence. Bitch, you see the way I'm rapping, yes I do this shit to death. Until I'm running out of breath, or tell somebody cut a check. But either way you know it's fresh, and either way you know it's fresh. Fresh, we fresh. Fresh, goddammit, we fresh.
Welcome. Welcome to the Fresh is the Word podcast, the podcast about music, pro wrestling, and MMA. I'm your host, K Fresh. And like always, we have a great show for you. Before we get into that, definitely just want to remind you how you can help and support the podcast. You can always go to freshasthepodcast.com and share any links on the website, on any of your social media. That would be fucking great. And also, you can click on the link on the website that says support the podcast, and there's a PayPal link you can donate to. Also, there's an Amazon link that you can use anytime you want to make purchases on Amazon. Use that link, and it will they'll shoot us back a little bit of commission. Doesn't change anything on your end. Also, you can follow Fresh is the Word on Twitter and Instagram at Fresh is the Word 1. That's Fresh is the Word, then the number 1. And then on Facebook at facebook.com/Fresh is the podcast. And you can also now we're everywhere where you can go ahead and subscribe to us. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Mixcloud, and SoundCloud. Go to any of those platforms and just type in Fresh is the Word, and the podcast should come up. And you can subscribe to it. You can leave some comments, some reviews, give us 5 stars wherever you can rate 5 stars. But we're all over the place now. So there's no excuse why you can't listen to Fresh is the Word. And why would you want to miss the show? We've been having great guests. And I have a lot of great guests in the works. Like today's guest, the vocalist and guitarist of the UK-based alternative rock band, Alvarez Kings. He goes by the name of Simon Thompson. He's a good dude. I first spoke with him a little over a year ago when the band was on tour with pop star Melanie Martinez, and I did a article on Huff Post about them. But we just got reacquainted recently. Got on the phone with Simon Thompson again, and we talked about what went into the making of their debut album, which is called Somewhere Between, that came out recently on Warner Brothers Sire Records. We talked about the producer that they worked with, being on tour with Melanie Martinez for so long because they went everywhere with her. So we get into all of that. We get into the nuts and bolts of their debut album, which is a good album. It's very good. Somewhere Between, Alvarez Kings. Go pick it up. And then, like always, Afterwards. We'll be joined by my co-host, Vstylez. I'm bringing back something that I originally was going to use when Vstylez joined the podcast. I'm going to call that segment of the podcast Knuckle Up. The reason I'm doing that is because I have some other plans for other podcasts, and I want to make sure that everything's branded. Every segment has a name, just so I don't confuse anything. So for this week's edition of Knuckle Up, like always, I'm not going to say this week's, every week's edition of Knuckle Up basically has Vstylez with me. We took the week off last week. I just gave you the episode with my interview with Josh Smith from North Lane, which I hope you very much enjoyed. But he's back this week because our schedules were kind of last week. So he'll be back with us. He's back with us this week to talk about what's going on in the world of music, pro wrestling, and MMA, like always. I got a lot of cool news coming up soon, a lot of cool projects that are connected to Fresh is the Word in the works, and definitely will let you know as they come to fruition. So let's get to the interview with Simon Thompson of the band Alvarez Kings. I've talked with you before. The first time was when you were on the Melanie Martinez tour and came through to around to Michigan, just when the band had signed with Warner Brothers and Sire. How has your time been thus far with working with the label?
Yeah, really good. We've now got an album out, so that would have been sort of impossible without the backing from Warner, and it's this helped give us a number of opportunities across America and Europe. So yeah, it's been really good.
Right. Yeah, the new album is really great. I really love it. I've been listening to it a bunch of times recently, and coming from the no doubt, and coming from the Fear to Feel EP, what did you want to expand on as a band with Somewhere Between?
Well, Fear to Feel was sort of made and created just on a laptop, so we didn't have all the right sort of tools that we wanted at the time to make it a big sounding sort of collection of songs. So when we had the opportunity to go and work with Carlos in LA, and we originally recorded the album sort of live in a big studio called Ocean Studio in Burbank.
Yeah.
In LA, and so we recorded live, and we just, I think the microphones just alone on the drum kit were like $80,000 worth of microphones. So it was just like completely different because majority of the drums on the Fear to Feel EP were programmed, like swapped out for sort of the acoustic drums. So just that whole experience, and going back to Carlos's studio, his home studio in Eagle Rock, he got like a ton of not like from the capability were just programmed like from a sound card in a laptop. So just completely different. We were like kids in sweet shops, so we just sort of went to town, especially with the tools that we had to work with.
Yeah, working with...
We were able to just create that bigger sound.
Yeah. I was saying, working with Carlos de la Garza on this album, what did he bring? What did he do to bring the best out of you guys for this album?
Sort of, I don't know, because we went with a good idea of what we knew we wanted to record, and we actually rented out a cabin just before we went out there, and we set up like a little home studio, and we recorded all the demos for the songs, and then sort of gave them to the label, and the label were like, yeah, these are great, let's get you out to LA and get the album recorded. So we knew what we wanted, but then Carlos listened to all the songs, all the demos, and he basically, as to put it, cut out a lot of the fat that he thought was not needed in the songs. So he came up with like little edits before we got there.
Yeah.
And then the first day we sat down and he was like, right, I've moved some of the things around, I've cut some of the fat. What do you think to this? And because you can, when it's your own songs, you can sort of get too involved with the song and lose sort of track of what you're trying to get out of that song. And so he basically was like an outside perspective of things that he felt weren't necessarily needed in order to get the best out of the song. So we ended up calling him Carlos the Butcher throughout the whole time. Because he cut away a lot of the fat, and it's even on a lot of the songs when we first heard them, we were like, yeah, that makes so much sense. On certain bits, it took a lot of convincing, and I think there was one or two bits that we kind of vetoed, and were like, whoa, you can't do that. And so it was a very happy medium. And then for me personally, when I was recording my vocals, me and Carlos spent a lot of time together, just creating the right environment, and like he was very patient with me as well, trying to get the best out of my voice. So because I guess like the singing part of the songs are quite an important part of the actual record. So he never wanted to push me too much. It was always, we can stop for today, or we can have a break, or we can go and grab a coffee, or I can send somebody to get you a coffee. So it was always a really comfortable environment, and he always sort of pushed me to the limit as well. He would always say, I think you've got more in you, I think you can do better. So yeah, I think. And then in terms of Sleepwalking Part 2, that was pretty much, created on the spot in the studio with Carlos involved. So because we wanted to have Sleepwalking, the actual song, the acoustic song that we played live for so long.
Yeah.
But when we were doing the pre-production with Carlos, we kind of all agreed that the acoustic track just wasn't like sitting nicely in the album. So that's where we came up with Sleepwalking Part 2. So that was sort of a very memorable and sort of poignant part for me of recording the album.
Your vocals on this album sound very, very emotional. How did you feel when you were actually laying down your vocals, having to go into the studio? Was this an emotional thing? Did it scare you to actually have to go in there and just, belt out these lyrics and do it in a way that was so emotive?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really like self-critical about my vocal and singing and lyrics and the actual songs. And it usually takes somebody to say, no, that's really great. And then I'll be like, oh, yeah, it is really. So until somebody actually acknowledges my work, it's hard for me to sort of believe that it's good. So again, like in Carlos's home studio, it was just like a nice atmosphere. We had like fairy lights, and we had the light down low, and then just sort of my emotions coming through singing the songs was I was just trying to get lost in the moment, creating that cool vibe in the studio, and sort of trying to remember how I first came up with those stories, and try and put myself back in those sort of environments and try and convey that when singing. I tried not to hold back. Like sometimes when you're singing live, when you're doing like a long set, like a over an hour set, sometimes you're a bit, well, I am personally a bit scared to go too far and risk sort of tiring my voice. But when I was in the studio, I sort of like was just really going for it and thought, I was thinking that the entire time, you know, this has got to be perfect because this is going on an album that's it's going to be around and accessible forever. So
right.
I want to make sure that I'm happy with that performance, and so I thought that was the attitude that I took.
Right. You know, I read on your Instagram account that, you know, when you posted about the release of this album, you described it as my music career summed up in 11 songs. You know, expand on that. What does that mean to you?
I think I put that just because the actual album is something that we've all worked towards for a very long time, and you sort of have like goals that you want to achieve when you start out as a musician or when you start in a band. Like when you become a musician, you want to form a band with your school friends,
right?
And then when you join a band, you rehearse together, and then you want to write songs, and then the next thing is you want to perform live. So, you know, we've been doing that for a while, and I always wanted to achieve releasing an album through a record label, and not even necessarily a major record label, but when that opportunity came up, it was like unbelievable. So that was what I was sort of in my message when I put that on my Instagram account. It was, you know, my career thus far all summed up in one album, because that's what you're remembered for. Everyone will base your band on your albums.
Right. Yeah, to close out this interview, I also saw that on your Instagram you were talking about the personal training sessions that you've been taking part in recently. You know, how's those going? You know, what's your routine been thus far?
My personal training sessions.
Yeah.
It was just something that like one of my friends was. He got into personal training, and we used to go on. We used to play like football together and go on a lot of runs. And I find it hard when I'm really busy or like with touring and stuff to try and keep up sort of a fitness regime, because I am sort of conscious about my health, and I do want to keep fit and feel good and look good. So it was. I spoke to the personal trainer, and we sort of put together like a program and a diet as well that I can try and maintain when I'm on tour and when I'm off tour. Sort of like the training I've been doing is like high intensity sort of training, so like doing crazy hill sprints early in the morning and then going back to the gym and doing some workouts in the gym as well. So it's not nice at all when you're doing it, but it's you do feel like you've achieved something great when you've finished.
Right. All right, Simon, it's been great talking with you again. Like I said, I enjoyed the album. You know, good luck to you guys. I know you guys are coming over to the States for a tour later this year. So, you know, good luck on that. Where can, you know, if anybody wants to check out Alvarez Kings, where can they find you guys online?
So yeah, our website is alvarezkings.com, and that's got all the tour information and tickets links for actually back in America in June, July. They've got the links to all the socials, like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and they're all just /Alvarez Kings. Really, really simple, but yeah, that's where you can find us.
All right, great, man. It's been great talking with you again, and like I said, man, good luck with everything.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly, and let us know if you want to come to one of the shows.
Oh, no problem.
Just hit us up.
No doubt. No problem. All right, man. Have a good day.
All right, dude. Yeah, you too. Thanks very much.
All right, later. So that was my interview with Simon Thompson of the band Alvarez Kings. Please go pick up their new album, their debut album, Somewhere Between, out now on Warner Brothers Sire Records. And now, let's get to this week's edition of Knuckle Up, featuring, like always, my guest host, Detroit hip-hop artist, pro wrestling and MMA connoisseur, and proud Marine, Vstylez. What up, bro?
Oh, what's going on, Kelly? You good, dude?
Yeah, man. We had to take a week off from this discussion portion of the podcast because last week our schedules were, conflicting. There was so much to do. Like before the whole Memorial Day weekend, there was just a lot of shows and concerts and whatnot. So it just didn't happen. But it's all good,
I'll take the blame for that, man. I was lazy last week. Lazy.
No, it's all good. I was really busy myself too, so it was super hard from my end to to be able to get my schedule up and going for that. But the one show that I do want to talk about, because it definitely has to do with a lot with the topics, was I went to the Fozzy show at the Machine Shop in Flint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and dude, it was such a fun show, man. When Fozzy came out, they started with Judas, and everybody loved it. It was super cool. And this is what
it's a dope ass record.
Oh yeah, and this is what makes Chris Jericho like just a master, like entertainer performer. He knows that a majority of that crowd, a lot of that crowd, is there because of WWE, because he's a wrestler. They want to see him, Chris Jericho, the wrestler. So the whole show, and Fozzy's a kick-ass band, live. He did not make any wrestling references at all during the whole show until the absolute end. When he's doing the whole thank yous and about to, at the end of the last song, like thank you, everything, and thanking the crowd and everything, he goes, Flint, Michigan, you just made the list.
You just made the list.
And the crowd popped, And I was like, dude, that's what makes him such a master performer, man.
I agree.
He knew exactly where to place that, man. He didn't do any wrestling references or anything the whole performance until the absolute end, and the crowd popped.
That's dope.
And it was funny though.
Matt.
It was funny with one of the opening bands that they're on tour with, King. The lead singer was totally messing with the wrestling marks in the crowd. Like they were up front. He's like, before one of the songs, he's like, look here, man, we're at a rock show. Act like it. Do something. Bob your head. Put your fist in the air. Headbang. Do something. I know you're here to see Chris Jericho, the wrestler, but this isn't a WWE event. John Cena isn't come out to powerbomb anybody. Undertaker's music isn't about to play. You're at a rock show, so act like it. He's like, no, how about you go to the back of the venue until Chris Jericho comes out. The guy didn't even move anyways, but he's like, no. And then he just started, but he was just like really messing with him, and I was just laughing my ass off because it was funny though.
Particular, what do you have on? A lot of WWE shit.
Yeah, and he was just sitting there, just like not doing anything. He was up front, just not doing anything for the opening bands. And you're like, yo, be at a rock show, have fun, man. Like everybody else, even if they're there to see Chris Jericho, they were having fun, they were banging their heads or whatever. But there's this guy, he was just looking miserable up front, like not doing anything. And the guy from King was just totally like was just like messing with him. It was actually really hilarious.
That's what's up. I'm mad. I missed that.
No, it was a really fun show, man. I really enjoyed it. Like they are a really good band live. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. I'd have loved to see that.
Yeah, man. All right, you were just telling me before we started recording that you were a little upset with the WWE right
Yeah,
now. What's going
man.
on? What's up, man? What's up? What are you upset about? Refresh my memory because I know it was only a couple of days ago, but I can't remember everything that happened on Raw and SmackDown right now because I have so much things going on in my mind.
Look, I should have knew based off him being in his hometown, and Vince McMahon traditionally always have the hometown people lose.
They always do, yeah.
Yeah, he does that shit, man. Well, unless you old girl winning the women's title in Orlando,
right?
You know, but in this case, when it's AJ Styles going against Dolph Ziggler, a person I like to call the greatest Shawn Michaels impersonator,
right?
We've possibly ever seen. Dresses just like him, same boots, same moves. The Famouser is okay. I mean, but he is Shawn Michaels. He's everything Shawn Michaels,
right?
In my opinion, he's never to beat AJ Styles in a one-on-one matchup. And even if you do what you did on Tuesday, us fans know that this is some bullshit. Like, you really put Dolph Ziggler over AJ Styles in Atlanta when he broke out the red.
Right.
He broke out the red for the Falcons. You know, for the birds, for the dirty birds. Now, I don't fuck with the dirty birds, but
right.
I fucks with AJ. And it's just a travesty to have him lose clean. He lost clean.
Right.
To Dolph Ziggler. That sucks, man. That's on the same lines of Jinder Mahal being champion right now.
I don't know, man. This whole Jinder Mahal thing is it's kind of interesting. The celebration was kind of cool.
What was that? What are you saying?
The Maharaja.
Maharaja.
Yeah.
Maharaja.
Yeah.
Woo, just looking at them pictures a couple years ago of him then and looking at him now, man, something's going on there. Whew. Man,
I don't know. He was on Chris Jericho's podcast, and he explained a lot of the things that people might be saying about him, and kind of his journey back to WWE. Like, for a while, he was just kind of doing like, he wasn't even doing like the regular indies that everybody else does. He was just doing other promotions in different countries for years. But he was like going through like just being depressed, and he like gained all sorts of weight just drinking beer all the time, and he was like actually like sort of fat for a while. And around the brand split time, he got a call from WWE, and they were interested in bringing him back. And he wasn't as fit as he is now, as muscular, but he said that he started eating better, he cut out the booze, and he really started like working out a lot smarter, you know. So I don't know. I know it's a weird thing to go from like a jobber to a world champion, but at the same time, like, this reign is actually much more interesting than what they were doing with Randy Orton previously. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was a horrible. Randy Orton's last title reign was probably the worst I've ever seen.
I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like Randy Orton's just dialing it in now, man. He's just calling it in, man. It's just like and even his feud with Bray Wyatt, it was good, but Bray Wyatt was muscling that whole thing, you know. He had that whole thing on his back, you know. And it was just, I don't know. I'm not too mad at this current title reign, but like, you know, there's other dudes that like I hope get it.
I guess I just don't like the dudes that come out with the lime green shirts with him.
The Singh brothers.
Yeah, oh my God, man.
Bollywood boys.
Because it's stereotyping at its best. I hate that. I hate when I see when you blatantly, because I know dudes, that dress like that.
Right.
That's that race and that culture. I mean, I'm like, wow, they really went extreme with it. When I like,
Right.
if they'd have had him with a regular like manager or maybe Rusev in his corner,
Right.
maybe there'd been a different feeling. But when it's just the worst. I hate when you stereotype, man, and that's what it looked like. You look like you got two dudes that's about to hang out Friday night in Dearborn, and I'm just saying that's what it looked like with them colorful shirts, with the slick head dudes, with the teased eyebrows, and like that's a fucking stereotype. It is. So when I see that shit, it's almost like Crime Time. Remember Crime Time? I used to get mad when they came out.
Yeah.
I'd be like, really? That what we do? Okay. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, he's on the flip side of it, he's on cloud nine right now, man, and he got a whole country behind him. So you got people who got cities behind them and regions. He got a whole fucking country. So, good for him.
Yeah,
I'm not as mad as I was.
Right.
But good for him.
And they were like talking about this. I don't know if I was just. It might have been on the Jericho podcast with them, or it might have been when on another podcast when they're talking about this whole title reign. What it looks like they might be doing is like the same thing that they did with Bret Hart, where like Bret Hart is the heel in the States, but the face in his own country in Canada, where he's like.
Oh, you talking about when he was going against Steve Austin back then?
Yeah, where same thing where Jinder Mahal is going to be a heel here, but in India he'll be.
Great Khali was like that.
Yeah, and he back in the day, Jinder did work a lot with Khali.
Yeah, I remember that. That's why to see him now, it's like, wow. Used to be the Great Khali's, handyman. Go get my soup. That was who he was. And now to see, it's just, for me, it's just different. Like, wow. It's the equivalent of Barry Horowitz becoming world champion.
I think after listening to the interview that he did with Jericho, I think back in the day when Jinder Mahal was with the whole 3MB shit and everything, I think there was...
Oh, my God, that was horrible.
It was horrible, but I think in the beginning, they really wanted... I think Vince McMahon really wanted Jinder Mahal to be in the position that he is in now, but something happened. Something didn't work out the way it should have, and then it almost got forgotten. And then Jinder Mahal was just kind of almost. He was almost like dialing it in back then. He was like very depressed about how that whole he didn't like the whole 3MB stuff, even he thought it was kind of stupid. He didn't like, by the end of that, he was just like, I don't even want to do this anymore. So I think what's going on now with him is actually kind of what they wanted to do back in the day, but he just wasn't ready and it just didn't work out.
Okay. All right, well, we gonna see. We definitely go see. We go see what's gonna happen. I just want to see. I want to see better work. I just want to see better work, man. And again, it's really hard for people that watch this, and when where certain people come from, and just see them just like that become this. Like overnight, like, wow, we weren't even thinking about this dude last year. Crazy. We weren't thinking about this dude last year.
Right.
So,
but I guess it kind of goes with this whole SmackDown Land of Opportunity thing that they've been doing since the brand split, where I guess it works out in that sort of, storyline or motto or whatever that SmackDown has that will give more opportunities over here than that old, Monday Night Raw thing going on.
Who do you want to come out of the Raw brand of the Fatal? What is it? The Fatal 5?
Yeah, the Fatal 5-Way Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules this Sunday. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt versus Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I think a Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
A Samoa Joe Brock Lesnar match would be awesome.
Yeah, I think so too.
That would be. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I would love to see that too, and I think fans will probably favor that.
That would be like it'd be more realistic of a fight, man. You can be like, it'd be very much more realistic,
Yeah, I think so too. I want to see Finn Balor bring the Demon out against Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, they were teasing that like weeks ago, and then they never really followed up on it. I think everybody was excited about that, and it would be dope to have like the Demon Finn Balor versus the Eater of All Worlds Bray Wyatt.
I'm just, this whole Roman Reigns shit, man. It's the same shit.
It is, over and over again, man. Like, it's like, all right, with somebody else, same thing. All right, blah, blah, blah.
My yard. This is my yard now. And I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm just the guy. Oh my God, that shit is horrible, dude.
It's
every week.
And there's guys that are tweeners between faces and heels, but he's not a tweener. He's still a baby face, trying to act like he's a tweener, and it just doesn't work.
Nothing will work for him. He needs a makeover bad, man. I mean, he needs something, man.
Every once in a while, there was this little like tinge of him being a heel, and then they would just go back to him in his yard and the guy and blah blah blah. And
I'm getting tired of him beating people that he shouldn't beat. He shouldn't beat Seth Rollins. I mean, from a real life perspective, maybe. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Right.
But skill set wise, in that ring, it's like, wow, you're gonna put him over again, huh? Each and every week they put him over. Like, wow, again.
Yeah.
Fucking again.
Did I ever tell you my Roman Reigns analogy into hip hop?
Uh-uh.
All right, this is the analogy I made, like, for how I feel about rap and hip hop these days, like more on the mainstream level of rap or hip hop, whatever. I feel like in a lot of cases, any hip hop artist that has any hype gets jammed down all of our throats in the same way that the WWE jams down Roman Reigns down our throats.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's a good way of real shit.
It's the only like hip hop and rap is like the only like genre of music where I feel like people are always telling you that you should like or listen to an album. Like they're telling you that you'd be crazy or you're stupid or whatever if you don't like this artist. And I'm like, oh, it's so like, and it gets worse as time goes on, man. And I'm like, one day I was like, that kind of, it's like what if everybody in the WWE, what if Vince McMahon did that with everybody? Like,
oh man, I I don't think we would really have a show to watch.
What if everybody got
Wouldn't have
jammed down
to-
your throat? Like, that's exactly what I feel about like rap music these days. That everybody gets jammed down our throats, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, just chill, man. Like,
Yeah, it's horrible, man. It's horrible. I was looking at something today with Cool G Rap was talking about, and I reposted it on my Facebook. Cool G Rap he was getting interviewed by Vlad,
yeah,
and he was talking about, man, you know, rap has, you know, turned into, you know, catchy, you know, like ABC 1, 2, 3. He said next thing you know, you're gonna have people, you know, doing stuff like peekaboo, peekaboo. And Vlad was like, he said, well, it's funny that you mentioned that because it's a, you know, rapper out now who has a song called Peekaboo, Lil Yachty. And Lil Yachty. And the look that he had on his face was like you could tell he didn't know that. It was a real fucking reaction.
like, are you fucking
And
serious?
I was just like, huh?
Like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah. He was like, oh, wow. He was like, see? He's like, I didn't even know that, man. I just said that. And he said, well, there it is. It explains it all right there, what I just said. You know, he was trying not to diss dude because he was like,
Right.
you know, get your bread, da 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 da. But, you know, don't forget, you know, what it's all about, man. And yeah, man. Oh, speaking of which, shameless plug, man. These are my people. Make sure you know, y'all support that new Cool G Rap album produced entirely by my man Moss from Toronto. Comes out June 2nd, you know. Support that. Very dope hip hop. They my people.
Oh, definitely.
And you know, Cool G is on my album and Moss is producing on my album. You know, this new boy I got, Thornton Mellon. Shameless plug. But yeah, horrible. I feel you. I definitely feel you. If Vince was to do that, man, it wouldn't work, man. It wouldn't work at all.
Yeah, like, what if like just everybody was being jammed down your throat? Like, that's how I feel like rap is today, dude. I'm like, because I listen to all sorts of music, and they don't do that in other forms of music. You know, there's mainstream stuff on of every type of music, but it never gets like jammed down your throat, you know, and you feel like,
oh man,
like,
yeah,
you feel like some sort of obligation to like it or respect it, you know. So I'm just like, yo,
I ain't liking it or respecting it. Fuck that.
Right. Shit.
That's the problem, man. We give them too many passes to weak shit, man. And if it's some dark, it's some shit that might be polished, but I don't like. You know, and I don't mean that it ain't dope. It's just some that I ain't like. But you got shit out here that is just horrifically bad. I'm talking about, like, you can't even put makeup on it to make it look good, make it sound good. You know, it's just like, wow. And then you look at the people that like that, and you're like, oh, you really like that shit, huh? Okay, well, that say a lot about you. A lot about you. Can we hang out? Nah, we can't hang out, man. You listen to Future. You know, I don't have no Mollies or no Percocets. We don't do that over here. I got some Henny though.
Right,
and even Hen Dog.
Even Floyd Mayweather was talking about that. Or talking about what music he likes and hip hop and everything. He was saying, "Oh, it's okay to be a junkie these days."
You know what? And if Floyd say that, that's saying a lot. You know, saying a fucking lot.
Right.
And I rocks with Floyd on the fight tip. You know, but a lot of people, you know, they look at Floyd lifestyle and they think a certain thing. But if he come out and say that shit, hey man, hey, you know, I used to learn, you know, about black inventors, you know, KRS-One, you know, you must learn. I used to learn about different stuff, you know, from hip hop. Now we ain't learning nothing. It's just all unmeditated garbage. It's just horrible. And a lot of y'all, listening to that garbage too. So, y'all support that. Y'all support a lot of garbage.
And right.
Y'all do.
And it's like, okay, whatever, but a lot of the way a lot of these people rap, and I'm not even just talking about like the mumble rap or the autotune rap or whatever. There's just a lot of cats that it just sounds so jarring to my ears when I listen to it. I'm like, there's no like even vocal melody, or they're not riding the beat in anything. It's just like, it's very jarring to my ears,
I'm gonna tell you, you've seen Trading Places, right?
Yeah.
This is what I hear when I hear new rappers today. You remember when Eddie Murphy dressed up as the African man, and then Dan Aykroyd dressed up as somebody, and he was like, boogity, 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 ha! That's what I hear.
Oh my God. Oh, that's so real.
Hoogity, 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 ha! That's all I hear. I don't hear nothing, and it just, like, wow, y'all like that shit. Every record, that's what I hear.
Another thing is, there's people out there who try to defend this stuff by saying, well, it's just like the modern day equivalent of scatting, like back in the day. And like, no, it
nah.
isn't. There was a rhythm to scatting. There was a soul to it, There was something behind that. This is jarring.
That ain't scatting at all. That shit is. Ha! That's what that shit is. And it sounds like that. But yeah, man, it is what it is, man. I must keep saying this again. Y'all buying that shit. And, to some people out there, I might sound like a hater. I think a lot of you get confused with hate and being truthful. I've started saying this recently. Hey, man, what you think about this, that, and other? Hey, man, not for me. That's my way of saying that shit whack as fuck, and I ain't fucking with it. But I was just saying, gentlemen, like, oh, that's cool. It's not for me though.
Yeah, that's what I be trying to say. I'm like, I'm not as critical about stuff as I used to. I'm like, whatever, just it's not for me. It's a lot of it's like, I feel like a lot of these rappers nowadays, and it's weird. I feel like they have like this influence from like British hip hop or British rap, the way they rap, but they don't do it as well as like the British guys, and they don't have the accent to make it sound cool,
Yeah.
Like those British guys at times would be like, "Oh, screw riding a beat. I'm just gonna rap, dog." Like, but they still sounded kind of cool, like with their accent, and they made it work. It was something different, But some of these cats now, they're like, "Screw riding a beat, man. I gotta get these bars in that make no sense."
Yeah, all that shit. I mean, again, you got music. What's crazy? I always looked at Gucci Man as this horrible, any, meeny, miny, mo type rapper. His music sounds better than the shit that's out right now.
Oh, his stuff sounds amazing compared to like that's okay. That's always been like.
It's like he actually rhyming now.
Yeah, you're like sitting there like, you know what? He's actually not that bad. Like there's always that line. I feel like it keeps on being pushed back, or whatever, pushed forward or whatever, in regards to like the lack of creativity or horribleness or whatever. And if you go back and listen to something that you thought was horrible, like back in the day, that was like some like radio record or whatever, you're like, you know what, it's not that bad anymore, Like you remember?
Nah, it's not.
Like you remember that "Wanna Be a Baller" joint?
Yeah. Oh my! Look, that was my.
Yo, I hated
cousin. dude. Let me tell you something. My cousin Brian, God bless his soul. I love my cousin Brian.
Right.
Back in the day, you know, my cousin Brian, you know, he's a baller. You know, he out of that life now, but you know, when he was out there, I mean, he was driving convertible Audis with the, you know, he was driving stuff that was popular before it got popular. Like first car I ever been in, where I see the screen come out the dash, and it was like, oh, this. But anyway, whenever he come pick me up, I hear that fucking song. Wanna be a baller, shot callers, one of his friends, champion baller. Oh my God, dude, I'd be like, dog, I'm not getting in that ride unless you turn that shit off, dude. Cause this is shit. No, it's not, dog. It's horrible. Put some knives on, man. You don't have no Wu-Tang? You know?
But no, the funny thing is,
look. I'd be like, he was like, man, you got some of your shit? You know, I will always say, man, you should invest in my shit, man. And to this day, cause I should invest in your shit. No, really, not really. Yeah, but you want to be a baller, shot caller. That, you know, interesting story, man. The dude that was on that record, what was his name? Youngstar?
Yeah.
Okay. Me and Gov, we were doing some shows down south, man, and we was in Houston. And we ran into that particular dude, man, and we went to the hood. It was the first time, like Detroit now, recently I've seen a lot of horses in the neighborhood. Houston was the first city that I've seen, like, people having horses, like, in their front yard, like, in the hood. It was like such a culture shock for me, you know, but we went to this dude's studio, and he was a complete gentleman, man. But I still didn't like that fucking record, man. You know, when he told us, he was like, yeah, man, I was all that's you. And, you know, Gov wanted to record with this other cat that he was with, and we wound up linking up. And he was actually a pretty cool dude, man. But, yeah, I hate that record, dog.
But the thing is, if you, like, go back and look at it now, like, what, like 17 years later?
Way better than...
It sounds amazing compared to some of the stuff now, man.
Oh, man. So that's hip-hop quotable right there. And that shit that we got now, man, the shit we got now is just wreaking havoc. It is destroying brain cells one by one. You know, it's that fucking bad, man. It's that fucking bad. Mm-hmm.
What to do?
Right.
But no, okay. No, the funny thing is though, okay, I did see this. This past weekend, I went out to Pontiac to see this hip hop or this rap group. They're kind of rap meets sort of punk rock, and they're called Horror. And it's like spelled HO9909. And dude, this is like rap meets punk rock, you know, and they were amazing. Like their album that came out just recently, The United States of Horror. Like, it's an incredible album. On tour with them, they had a drummer. I think it's the drummer. I forget his name, but I think he's the drummer who, like, more recently has been the drummer for Bad Brains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he's also the drummer for Doyle from the Misfits, his solo project.
Okay.
I think it was the same drummer, but dude, it was incredible show, man. It was a small crowd, but everybody there was going nuts, and like, just, it was all these like 20-something white dudes just like moshing around and stuff. It was actually kind of funny, but it was fun. It was a fun show. And they also had on their tour, there's this hip hop group called Injury Reserve. They were actually really dope. they're a little bit like they have very kind of sensibilities of like the old school hip hop and everything, with sort of like jazz samples and stuff like that. But it's not like boom bap rap though at the same time, and they're a little bit on the kind of like an alternative. Like it's like they're not your regular sort of hip hop group or rap group or anything. There's something different about them. Like they had a lot of energy. They had a punk rock energy also, and they were actually just amazing. I was just like both of them. I'm like, this was one of the funnest shows I've been to all year. But like this Cat's Injury Reserve, man, they're dope. I forget where they're from. I'm not even sure where they're from, but they're dope. They're like definitely someone. People need to check them out, man.
Okay. All right.
Cool. Switching topics though. We didn't get to. Actually, I think this would have happened after we talked last week. But last weekend, your boy Errol Spence Jr. KO'd Kell Brook. You've been talking about this dude for a while, man, and he came through.
Errol Spence did exactly what I expected him to do.
Yeah, I didn't get the chance to see the fight, so kind of break down what happened.
Well, anybody know anything about Errol Spence, man? He's a kid out of Dallas, Texas. He's about 27 years old. U.S. Olympian. He is the kid that, gave Floyd a black eye around the time he was getting prepared for Robert Guerrero. He has been a kid for a long time that has been on the come up, and what he did, most fighters can't do. You want a world title shot, and you got a guy from another country, you got to fight on his soil. Errol Spence went to the UK, and Kell Brook is a solid guy. He's a real champion. For the first 6 rounds, you could say that the fight was either going Brook's way or it was more like a draw. Errol, being a young fighter, held his composure, never backed up, not once. Continued his game plan by throwing body shots and using his jab to set up other shots. He was relentless going to the body. And if you ask me, he wound up getting him out of there in the 11th round by TKO. It was just a great fight for Errol Spence. Everything that was supposed to happen happened. And if you're a boxing fan, if you're looking to get behind somebody that you all can champion, if you're looking for a classy dude, if you're looking for a well-spoken person that will fight anybody and top-notch, his skill set is top-notch, we all need to get behind this kid, man. He's going to be great. I don't think anybody in the welterweight division, from Keith Thurman to Sean Porter to you name it in the welterweight division, I don't think you're going to be able to see this man. I think the only dude that could possibly give him a decent matchup is Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford is fighting at 140 right now. He's the champion at 140, so he will have to move up to 147 to fight Errol. But I can see that happening somewhere down the line. But please, if you're out there and you love boxing, look up Errol Spence, watch some of his fights, and get behind that dude, man. He is relentless. He reminds me of Like I said, he doesn't back up. He can take a shot. He reminds me so much of Mike McCallum. Mike McCallum, old school fighter, and they used to call him the body snatchers because his whole game plan was just going to your body the entire fight. And once you kill the body, everything else goes.
Right.
But he mixes up going to the body, then going to the head like Terry Norris. So it's like he's just a relentless dude, man, and he's gonna be a champion for a long time.
Who do you think his first title defense is gonna be against?
Man, that's a good question. I could see them maybe Sean Porter, because they're not gonna give Keith Thurman. He coming off surgery, so that wouldn't be smart to fight Keith Thurman. Well, it wouldn't be smart for Keith Thurman to fight him his first fight back.
Right.
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to sit back and think about that, man. I'm gonna have to think about that. I'll tell you next week who I think. You know, it might be Sean Porter. I don't see why Sean Porter wouldn't get a shot. Wow, I'm gonna have to really think about that because Adrian Broner's fighting on July 29th, so that knocks him out the box because he's fighting Mikey Garcia at a catchweight 140 fight. Mikey Garcia is 135 champion. Wow, I'm gonna have to think about that, man. I'll get back with you on that one.
Definitely. Switching to the world of MMA, what about this Alexander Gustafsson versus Grover Teixeira fight? That was pretty crazy, man.
He kept hitting him with that uppercut, man. Them uppercuts, you know, I mean, that's the one punch that kept working, and he kept, you know, if it ain't broke, it don't fix.
Right.
You know, so that last round when he hit him with that 3-punch combination, and then he hit him over the top,
right,
knocking him out, I was like, whoo, you know. I would be real curious to see him against. I would be curious to see him against John Jones or DC again. I would love to see that.
Right. It was crazy though, man, that Glover Teixeira just like he was so tough. He was just hanging on that, and it felt like it was one of those things where it was like the later it went, man, the more dangerous Glover actually was because he knew he was losing.
Yeah, because he knew. Yeah, I was expecting that one big shot. That one big shot never happened, but it's just. I mean, he lost. He lost. You know, he's always classy in defeat. I like Glover.
Yeah, and it was crazy though. That same weekend, over in one championship, there was a welterweight fight that it was between. Let me see if I can say this name properly. Zebatian Kedistam. He defeated
Kid Funky.
What's that?
Against Kid Funky?
Oh no, this was another one. But he was going against Luis Santos, and it was crazy. Like the whole fight, Santos was clearly winning, and just all of us, and they're halfway through the third round, and all of a sudden, Kedistam, like, he just comes out of nowhere. I think he landed a couple punches and then started like hitting him with some knees on the ground and totally TKO'd him. It was just out of nowhere, man. It was crazy.
I did see the Lee fight, and I've seen a little bit of the Askin fight.
Yeah. And in all that, I love these one championship events. They're all like all the fights are really good. I really enjoy them. They had a grappling match between Gary Tonin versus Shinya Aoki, which Gary Tonin was actually defeated Aoki. Those grappling matches are really fascinating, man.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they have a lot of grappling matches over here. The what do they call them? The Metamoris.
Yeah, they got that, but then and then they have the Submission Underground that like Chael Sonnen's a part of.
Yeah, he can't participate. I think he got a fight coming up. So he normally participates during his downtime.
Yeah, but and all like the one championship that event, which was called Destiny of Heroes, dude. Like I love one championship is one of my favorites. Out of all these companies, like, and this is the thing though, they have pretty like strict or different like weight cutting policies and stuff with their fighters. So all their fighters are hydrated and happy, like fight week and stuff. So that in turn actually like makes all these fights really good and very competitive because everybody is actually ready to fight and not dehydrating themselves.
Okay.
So
all right.
It was dope. And another crazy thing was Angela Lee. She came down with pneumonia 10 days before that fight, and even the days leading to the fight, she was like puking all the time, and she still fought and won. And like the first thing she did after she won and left the cage was go puke again. So she's I would never tell anybody to suffer through it or tough it out or anything, but damn, she like I get a little sick and I'm a baby, man. Like she had pneumonia and shit and still fought. So she's a tough cookie.
I gotta catch her next fight. I wonder who they have her fight next.
I think she's gonna take a little time off because she's been fighting a lot for the past like year. I think she's had like 3 or 4 fights in the past year. So I think she said she wanted to take some time off after this fight. But it probably still won't be that long. It won't be like these guys in the UFC and shit when they take time off.
What did you think about what Brandon Vera had to say?
Oh, about old girl?
Yes.
Dude, when you have someone like Brandon Vera doesn't want to fuck with you, then
yeah.
Like then you're probably not that good of a person. Even okay. Yeah. And the thing was, okay, everything that happened between Cyborg and whatever her name was, Angela Magana, and even Kat Zingano came out and said that at that retreat, because they're all part of Alliance, that she was kind of
acting like a bitch.
Yeah, she was kind of throwing some sideways comments her way during like all the when they're all hanging out and stuff, and Kat just kept it cool because Angela was there longer than her.
She was and exactly.
She didn't want to like.
She was the veteran of it.
Yeah, she didn't want to like rock the boat or anything, but she said she was always saying some shit, like always saying some shit that whole weekend. So, but she just kind of kept her cool and like walked away and tried and just pretty much left like hanging around everybody because of her.
Yeah, she knew. She said she knew though. She knew that ass was gonna get tapped by somebody. She's like, it's bound to happen, and sure enough,
what's up with
all that whole ass talking?
What's up with these fighters? Like, I swear, there's some fighters I feel like they feel like life only exists in the cage, and like anything that they say, you know, no one's actually gonna like, you know, call them on shit that they say, like what, and the fact that like she's not in the same weight class as Cyborg. Look, Cyborg got friends in her weight class.
that want to tap that ass.
Right. Cyborg makes some friends in that weight class. So like she was just running her mouth like way too much. Like you said at one time, man, habitual line crosser. She's a habitual line crosser.
Yeah. And that's what the fuck she was. She's a motherfucking habitual. I mean, she kept at it. Kept talking shit. It's like, okay, bitch, like, I got something for you, ho.
And the thing is, like Cyborg is, she's very sensitive, you know, and she'll call. She's actually she's nice. She's a nice, sensitive woman, and she'll call you on your bullshit though, you know, like shit like that hurts her feelings.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Dana come out and say, well, how can a fighter be cyberbully? Like, come on, dude. You know she was talking mad shit, man. Don't sit up and you know, to say it because you're a fighter and that's your profession that you can't be cyberbullied. That's some whole ass shit, you know. Period. So again, I'm not mad. No, it's been a very small percentage that have been supporting that little ugly chick. What's her name? Angela, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, there's been a handful of fighters that come out and say, "Hey, you know what? You said it's wrong." Mostly every fighter's response that I've read was like, "That bitch had it coming to her."
Right. And what's up with this sort of what's up with if Cyborg throws a punch at somebody like outside the cage like this, she's being the villain, but dudes can like throw punches at press conferences or elsewhere and they get like high fived and be like, "Yo, he's the man, man." Like
not even getting sanctioned. I read that today. They ain't getting sanctioned by Oklahoma at all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like Kevin Lee and what's his name? Yeah, they threw punches at each other and they didn't get sanctioned or anything. And then how many people in the past have thrown punches on people and didn't get in trouble and actually got like, you know, bigged up by their boys and shit, you know?
I agree.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy that, you know, they can even be considering doing some whole shit to Cyborg, man. But it is what it is. Politics and bullshit.
But Dana White did say that Cyborg will be fighting on the July 29th card, but they haven't said who it's going to be. And it's not going to be Megan Anderson because she's going to be fighting for the Invicta or defending her Invicta title soon at an upcoming Invicta event. So who knows who Cyborg's and then what's up with Jermaine Durandamy saying she wants to go back to bantamweight, go back to 135.
She don't want an appointment with them hands.
Like this is like she's a horrible champion. She's horrible champion.
That she don't want them problems, and you know, it's understood. You know, I would much rather her come out and say, "Hey, you know, I'm scared. I don't want to get them hands. You know, Cyborg hands is horrible. You know, she hand delivers ass whoopings, and I didn't want to be a part of that. She should have just, you know, but to say some whole ass shit about she's a cheater." And I want to go back to 135, bitch. But you're the 145 champion. You ain't gonna defend that? Like really?
And she said she don't care about getting stripped of the title now.
Of course.
What?
You know, of course. She don't want to fight Chris Cyborg.
Right. Just oh man, like I don't know, man. Just strip it from her and just vacate it, man. Just vacate it and have. and have Cyborg and someone else go, fight, and whoever wins from that, give them the belt.
Definitely some sad times here, man. You got people not even want to fight my girl and shit. She'll be okay though.
Right, she'll be okay.
I'm looking at Chris right now taking shots to the gut.
Yeah, I saw that, man.
She's smiling. She's taking knees to the gut, dog.
I saw that video. It was awesome, man. She's just like, whatever.
Look at this shit, dude. I'm looking at. She's taking knees from both sides. She's taking kicks. Oh yeah. Yeah, these motherfuckers don't want these problems.
Nah,
they don't want these problems with Chris.
Not at all. This weekend is UFC 212, headlined by Jose Aldo and Max Holloway, for the featherweight title. You got the Aldo, who is apparently the featherweight champion, versus Holloway, who's the interim champ. Does this fight just feel kind of weird because, it was Conor McGregor's title, but they stripped him of it, and Aldo lost, last time, and it just I don't know. I just feel like whoever wins this fight, I don't feel like they're going to be the true champ until they defend this title once. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know Jose got knocked out in 13 seconds, dog.
Yeah, and then he was just given the belt back.
In 13 seconds, dog. He got knocked out in 13 seconds, dog.
13 seconds. 13.
He ain't been the same since, bro. Has not been the same since. Yep. I tell you, man, I'm curious. Max Holloway might fuck around and win on Saturday. In fact, I'm rooting for him.
Right.
Yeah, let's get Jose the fuck up out of here, man. He been a complainer. Like, and you can say a lot of shit about Conor, man, but the one thing you can't say is he didn't knock that motherfucker out in 13 seconds. Because that shit is forever embedded in my brain of, damn. And Jose ain't had lost in motherfucking 12 years, some shit like that. He had 100 title defenses, and then one dude come out of nowhere and knock him out in 13 seconds. That gotta fight. He gotta wake up every day having Conor nightmares. Conor, waking up, Conor. Think about it. You went from being this iconic fighter, to getting knocked out in 13 seconds, man. How do you look in the mirror and still be happy? And hey, it is what it is, man. Maybe Jose got another good one in him. But I'm taking Max this fight.
Yeah, me too. I'd like to see Max Holloway get the win.
I'm taking Max. Go take Max, and Jose win, good for him. But Jose mind ain't been right since that knockout. He was just a man just a week ago. Mm-hmm.
Damn, homie.
You used to be the man, homie.
The fuck happened to you?
What the fuck happened to you? Damn, man. Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. All right. I think that's about it for this week's Fresh is the Word podcast. Vstylez, tell them where you can find you online.
You can find me on Twitter at the /VSTYLEZ. Same thing with the Instagram, VSTYLEZ, and my Facebook page, the VSTYLEZ. But you can also go to my official verified artist page at /official Vstylez.
Word up. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Peace.
Fresh is the word.